Hello and welcome to the iTricks interview. This is Justin Robert Young from iTricks.com. Joining me is our very, very special guest calling from Burbank, California. He is Tony Clark. How you doing, Tony?
Very good. How are you?
Thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure.
We'll get right into the questions. Outside of magic, who most inspired you?
Well, there's two different people actually. I would have to say Napoleon Hill, which is
Okay.
not really a person that I've met, but I've read his books, and Anthony Robbins, I think, was a big turning point in my life as far as the way I thought and conducted my business and my attitude towards business of magic. So I think between those two, it was a big non-magician influence.
Yeah, and I know with the Anthony Robbins thing, at what point did that kind of change happen, and specifically, what lessons did you learn?
Well, I think the main thing was to be able to have to visualize his technique of visualization, of visualizing yourself winning and visualizing yourself doing what you're doing, and that was a great technique because I realized I was doing some of that already in rehearsing and stuff, but applying it to normal life, it was really interesting, very magical, and also one of the main things he got me over was the fact that it was okay to make money. And I
Yeah,
grew up in a very blue collar type family, hardworking, and it was almost like, well, you don't want to be rich because you'll be one of those people, that kind of feel.
got you.
So I was able to break that through realizing that, you know what, I deserve whatever I can get. If I make it, I deserve it, and it's fine. And I was able to break all those money's the root of all evil, that kind of thing. He actually talked about that directly. And that was a major issue because I realized, what, that's holding me back because in the back of my head, I had this weird issue about, if you had a lot of money, my father worked for, very wealthy people and,
Yeah,
you always feel like they're taking advantage of you and all that kind of negative connotation towards wealth. So
yeah.
that was great to break that mind, this, like, I guess, block of being able to make money and feeling good about it.
Do you
So
feel
that
like
was
that is specifically maybe something that is a current of thought in the magic industry? That if you put a trick out and you sell it, that you're selling out, you're giving the secret away to too many people. You kind of see the same themes pop up in criticism.
Yeah, it's true. That always comes up when when I'm come up with an idea to sell, and it's everything is out there. I mean, you could become a lawyer, you could become a doctor, you could become a mechanic. You could buy, you go to school and you learn how to do all these things. Magic is the same way. If you want to be professional, it's out there. I mean, I know it's a little different as far as being secretive, but you have to put the work in. I mean, I'm not worried about somebody learning a trick because they're not going to affect my life.
Yeah,
It's if you want to be a true professional, as you know, it takes a lot of time and effort to actually even be seen by people. Become a professional magician. It takes a lot of work. So the guys that are buying these little tricks and things, I think it's just they're hobbyists most of the time.
yeah.
It doesn't really bother me in a negative way that people are buying. I mean, the masked magician, that's another whole other world. I think it's the masked magician is bad only because it's like I use the analogy of like it's people don't remember the exact methods they see,
Yeah,
but they realize there is a method, like Santa Claus. When you find out first there's no Santa Claus,
yeah.
it's like, wow, okay, and you kind of ruin that little mystery or possibility of being real. So those kind of shows that expose magic, that's I think what it does to people. It kind of takes away the mystique of like, oh, there is a trick behind it. Oh,
Gotcha.
okay, whatever. So sad, but yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well,
And magic is a strange thing as far as keeping secrets and selling secrets.
yeah.
We're we're in a weird business.
You can say that again. All right.
Yeah.
So let's say you have the time travel capabilities, like Terminator style. You can appear in an orb of lightning at any point in your life and tell a young Tony Clark one lesson, what would that lesson be, and how young would you be? How much younger?
Wow. Jeez, I think I would say right out of high school or even the senior year in high school, 18 years old. And I would recommend them to read Think and Grow Rich.
Okay.
If I had that knowledge of Napoleon Hill, because it's really Tony Robbins and all these guys now are basically it's basically the same stuff that he wrote back there in the 40s. The knowledge that I learned from that book, positive mental attitude, going beyond the call of duty, going the extra mile, all these things that and how to save money. I wish I knew those things back then. That is very important because in this business, it is magic, but is the business part is important as well. If you take it seriously enough, you want to make a living, and the business element is very important, and people don't ever think about it. And I didn't either. I thought about magic and performing magic, and I wish I could have started back then learning about business and understanding the psychology of positive mental attitude and all that good stuff. So I would say to read that book.
Now, why that age? I mean, it's obviously a very pivotal moment in somebody's life because you decide whether you're going to get a job, whether you're going to go to college, that
Right.
kind of stuff. But it almost seems like those are the last years where your mind is really super open to stuff, or they're the waning years before you really start to have entrenched firm habits, right?
Yes, but that would also allow you, reading that book would also give you the capabilities of uh, getting to know the people that you need to know and surrounding yourself with the right people,
Gotcha.
and the correct, making the right choices. And, basically surrounding yourself. That's a big thing about that book is really surrounding yourself with the people that you can learn from. And maybe offering to be around people not for money but just to learn from these people. So that was that would have helped tremendously. I mean, it would have saved time. It would have saved me a lot of mistakes, a lot of time that I think I would have made success even quicker than I have if I read that book. Or other kids now. A lot of people don't understand how to deal with people and have positive mental attitude with people and stuff. So I think that's very key.
Well, not to put you on the spot, Tony, but if you were able to put a number on it, how many weeks, years, months do you think that you could save? You could have saved if you would have intervened at that point in your life.
I think it took me about 7 years out here struggling. When I first came to LA in 1989, uh, it may have cut that in half, possibly. I think maybe for 3.5 years, I may have maybe gotten the results that I needed to.
Yeah.
It may have saved that much time.
Yeah, I just kind of want to illustrate, especially when we have a very young audience on iTricks, and this is just to kind of hammer home that there are decisions and trends and patterns that I think kind of get set around the end of high school that and these have real world consequences that affect you like you said 7 years out, 3.5 years out, and things can be wildly different.
Sure. Oh yeah. I mean, it's most people will learn what they need to learn if they really want it,
Yeah.
and the key is to find things to get you there quicker. That's why people hire me as a consultant, or to teach them. Because they could probably learn it, but if they want to learn Dove Magic, I could teach them what I already know for 30 years and cut their time down to a tenth of the time.
Yeah.
But they could probably learn it. But that's why I tell people. Most people have the talent without me. I'm just shortening that time span of the finished product.
Getting from A
Getting
to
to the
B.
finished product. Yeah. Yeah, that's it.